Hi everybody, this is Mela, and today I want to give you a tour of my save file. My save file dropped in my last video, finally. I had worked on it for quite a long time and finally made it available to download. And to be honest, the video did pretty well, so I'm happy about that. There's some nice shots of the builds in that video, but I didn't really go into detail of all the neighborhoods and all of the builds. So Willow Creek is one of Sims 4's first neighborhoods, and they had a starter area, which is called the Foundry Cove. I went with that, but built some smaller, modest homes for my starter area. I've already shown off this neighborhood in another video, so you could probably check that out in my video list. I've already had a tour feature of that, so I'm not going to get into this area, but I did want to show you the other areas and builds that we maybe haven't seen yet in this channel. I'm still working on getting most of these builds available in the gallery, by the way, so hopefully by the time this video is up, you could find them all in there. If you want to download them individually, or if you're on console and aren't able to download a save file, you'll be able to at least find all of these builds in my gallery. My gallery ID is belledaisies, and you could find all my relevant links in the description below. So I have here to start with Miss Georgia Doll, who will be helping me tour this world. She's a sim that I created a while ago, and I thought she'd be the founder sim for this world. But somehow, for whatever reason, it ended up being the Bairds. But that's okay. None of the sims in this world, except for these two, are original. Everyone else is a pre-made sim with a few edits here and there. You could go ahead and remove everybody else, download new sims, create new sims, whatever you like to do. I'm generally very easygoing with my world and how people want to play in it. I have no set story, no family ties. I built it with the intent to be a playground for the sims that I do play often. I have all these community lots. I mentioned in my last video that I have all these places for my sims to go, kind of like destinations. It is fun if you have a nice huge build with everything that your sims need, but I also think it's really fun to just go out and explore the world. The Sims 4 is very pretty. It's a very pretty game, and I think it's worth traveling through. So we're going to start with getting Georgia into a home. I think we'll start here in the courtyard lane, which in my game I turned into a quote-unquote a Willow Creek old quarter. I've had this build in my game for a very long time. I think it's a base game build. It's called the Arbor House. She can't afford it right now. Georgia can't afford it right now. It is 114,000 simoleons, I think. Yeah, and she's only got like less than 20k, so we'll just use the free real estate cheat and move her in. And unfortunately, it's also a very grade A. Yeah, so it's summer. I started the world in summer. I didn't check to actually see what the weather was going to be like. Actually, before I do that, let's go into our settings first. Okay, so let's go into our settings, game options, gameplay. Let's turn on autonomy. I turned it off because testing reasons. Auto age, let's not age anybody yet. Show wants and fears, traditional social lifestyles. What is this? I haven't played in a while. Actually played in a while. I built a lot, but I haven't really played a lot. So I won't turn this on just yet. Eventually I'll probably do a legacy, and then I'll turn all these options on. That's a thing that happens. Okay, so let's do that again. Disable autonomy, auto age. No, that's fine. Apply changes. That's fine. Environment. 8 days, everything here is fine. I wanted to turn on rain and snow options because I think those are cool. Pack settings, animal aging, yep, that's fine. Enable acme, NPC relationship autonomy, that's cool. But I'm not going to enable NPC voting because I hate that. Sims begin opted out of fame, that's fine too. So let's apply those. Okay. So basically she has, you know, full autonomy now. So let us go into this home. So as I mentioned before, this is a house that I built a long time ago. I had another Victorian in the spot for the longest time, but I didn't really like it. So I went online, I did some research. I feel like Willow Creek is very Louisiana, South Carolina-esque, that kind of thing, area. So I was looking up homes that would work well with the decor in the neighborhood, right? And it's kind of inspired by the Charleston single houses architecture, that kind of style. So I kind of tried to build one, and it really worked for me. It's 114 simoleons. I think because I use a lot of expensive furnishing, and it's not a huge house, but let's zone in for a little bit. I'm gonna press play and let her do her thing there. But as I mentioned in my other video, everything is pretty basic in terms of decor. Not a lot of craziness, not a lot of crazy clutteredness. I tend to play with walls up a lot. I don't know why, because I like kind of seeing the spaces here. I built this before bunk beds too. So like I said, this is one of my older games. Yeah, let's play with walls down. So it gives you a better view there of the layout there. So 3 bedrooms, and then the main area here. Yep, it's got a living room, a nice kitchen, a nice dining room for entertainment, and it's got this little swampy pool in the back here. And of course, anybody who lives here could decorate it and do whatever they like with it. But yeah, it's kind of cute. So yeah, that's one of my favorite houses here. And this neighborhood was full of residentials, but I kind of took it over and turned this into kind of pseudo old quarter. So this, I feel like, is my flagship builds. If my style had some kind of if I had a style basically, or if I had a flagship, this would be it. This would, because I just love seeing these two builds together. Like this one here is a restaurant. It's called the Madame Peach's restaurant, and this one here is La Belle Orange. So again, sort of I don't know, Louisiana-ish styles, homes or buildings rather. It's very, very bright. It's very colorful. I love it. And yeah, so I thought I'd make this area a little bit more fun. And this way, like, you know, there's people around and they could just kind of hang out along the canal and watch as the riverboats come in. So I find that really cool. And so also on this block, it's also a very historic block. So it's there, along with this Charlton single house build that I have here, I have this one here. I can't remember what the architecture style name of this particular home is, but again, it's very I hope it fits the theme of the area, at least that's what I'm trying to go for. But this used to be the Peak Hearth, I believe, the Pancake House, the House of Pancakes. And I built it over. Well, I rebuilt the whole thing, basically. And I wanted, in this kind of thing here, in this kind of idea here, I kind of wanted to build a place that Eliza pancakes with love. Oh, speaking of, here comes the welcome wagon, and that's Bob. Let's go say hi to Bob. Funny introduction, sure. And here comes Eliza. Of course, she has a fruitcake. We hate that fruitcake, so we are going to delete it promptly before Georgia eats it. Okay, wonderful. So we're not going to hang out with the wagon, so let's end that early. It's not about the welcome wagon today. Sorry, pancakes. Hey, but you know what is a great idea? Let's go and visit your home. Let's visit the Pancakes'. I'm really excited to show you this. This build has been in my game for a while. I think I built it like a couple of years ago, actually. Here's Iggy. So with the pancakes, let's tell him a funny story. So with the pancakes, I downloaded the version where they have a kid. So there's Iggy right there. I like to think that the pancakes are an okay couple. They're not struggling, I think, as a couple. Maybe they do have the typical usual couple struggles, but I don't think Eliza's a bad person. I don't think Bob's a bad person. They're just different people, right? But yeah, this house here, the whole idea of this home is I really wanted to build a home because I don't think that Bob's the type of person that will care about how his, like, the decor of his house or going shopping at West Elm or Crate and Barrel or anything like that. And I think Eliza's totally the type of person that would. She's a bit of a perfectionist, so she wants her home to be perfect. So she has here her salon. So she could hang out here with her friends. Bob has a den in the back where he could sit and watch TV. It's very close to the kitchen. The kitchen is a bit small, but it's functional. And of course, there's a big picture of pancakes up on the wall. And then again, she has that, Eliza has a nice dining room, good for socializing. And then we head upstairs to the bedrooms. And then, of course, there is a toddler room. Eliza's playing with a dollhouse. And this is where Iggy's room is. And as you can see, Iggy is spoiled. He has all these toys. He has the biggest room, I believe. I think it's even bigger than the master room. So yeah. And then there's a upstairs unfinished room in the attic that whoever, plays in this home could do whatever they want to with. But I imagine, like, eventually this is going to be like a bigger family room or a bigger rec room kind of thing. Or maybe even a man den, but Bob's too lazy to make it. So there's a laundry room. Most of my builds will have laundry rooms. So you definitely do need laundry day to play my the save file. And there is a computer in the laundry room. So yeah. So that is the pancake house. I hope I didn't go too fast on that. But yeah, it's a cute house. If you play the pancakes, I hope you like it. In my game, Eliza bought the cafe next door. So this cafe, I'm not going to go into every build. So you could go into there yourself and you could kind of see what's going on in here. It's really cool. So I love this cafe. It was inspired by a build I downloaded like when I first started playing this game a long time ago. Somebody built this really cool steampunk house, and I still have that built somewhere, but I kind of built over it. So what I did was I just kind of tore down the whole thing and made something from scratch. So it's and then I wanted to make it into like a cafe or a bakery shop or something. But I kind of wanted it to be a place that people could visit, not just somebody's house. So my story with this, and I think I wrote this down in the description, but basically my story for this is that this used to be owned by an eccentric riverboat captain, and of course he lives close to the canal, and it was just a weird place, but he was also kind of ahead of his time. So he powered a lot of his house with steam power, such as you would back in steampunk days. And so this building remained, and eventually it's sold to a pastry chef, sorry, and then it became one of the more well-known patisseries in Willow Creek. So what I did here is I actually had Eliza bake a whole bunch of pastries like cupcakes, cakes, and stuff like that. And so this You could kind of see it in there. So this shop is already equipped with baked stuff like cakes and pastries to sell. And they're all made by Eliza Pancake. So if you do download this and you get a sim to purchase it, then you'll notice that a lot of the cakes were made by Eliza. But that way you could start selling those cakes right away instead of making a whole bunch of stuff. There is a pastry machine in there, so it's fully equipped to do everything that you need to for a bakery shop, for a patisserie. So that is this little corner. Let's head over to the other corner that I don't really talk much about. So let's go to Manage World. Excellent. Okay, we're going to head over to Pendula View. And I think we're going to start over here to the Tiffany Spa. So yeah, one thing I tried to do with each of the neighborhoods, and I don't think I succeeded too much with every neighborhood, but one thing I did try to do is I tried to have at least one community lot per neighborhood. So that way, like, you know, there's one public area that people could access and visit the neighborhood. Because it's kind of awkward if you're visiting a neighborhood and like you're just kind of visiting somebody's house and they don't know you. But this way there's a lot here. And I thought about it and I thought, like, you know, this place will have a whole bunch of historical houses. I love this corner, by the way. But one of them turned into a spa, or like more like a bed and breakfast type of resort. So it is a spa. It's zoned as a spa. It has all the spa things that you want. You got these massage chairs, which I built this before the spa day update. So now you get your nails done there. It's got this nice pool with the rose petals in it. It's got the bar here. It's got really nice bathrooms. It's got a nice garden up in the back here. It's a small garden, but it's quiet. It's a little bit sunken, so you don't get a lot of noise from everywhere else from the park. And then you could go here and meditate if you wanted to. And then you have the suites up here. So if you needed to relax or hang out with your boo, you could hang out here, and you could do that. You could just chill for as long as you needed to. And there's a dude taking a bath over here. And then there's, of course, the massage tables over here. So it's a nice resort. As of right now, as of making this video, I don't have the wedding stories pack yet. I will eventually. So I might rebuild this to become like a kind of like wedding themed resort, or honeymoon themed resort rather. Just noticed that this is missing, and I hope I didn't upload it that way. So, okay, that's unfortunate. I thought I tested everything. That's the unfortunate thing about this whole thing. So sometimes I would go in, I would just retest and retest and retest and retest. And sometimes just for some reason, just stuff just gets missed. Or it just disappears for whatever reason. But that's what I will blame it on. Just the quote unquote whatever reason. Anyway, that's Tiffany. And on this block as well, let's go back into live mode. I call it live mode. I think live mode is silly. That's my opinion. On this block as well, here is the Ophelia Manor. I think this used to be called the Ophelia House, but I rebuilt it. Let's go visit. Okay. Sorry about that. I just had to fix something. I just interrupted Georgia's massage so she could go and visit the Goths. So here's the Goths. I did a few edits on this, which I totally forgot to mention when I uploaded the save file. But you know, I've been a fan of The Sims since, you know, Sims 2, since Sims 1, basically. What am I talking about? I've been playing The Sims since forever. So I've played it like even before it was The Sims, when it used to be Sim City. So, and the Goths are iconic. There's a no doubt about that. They are absolute icons. Bella Goth is quite an icon. So they redid her. Like basically it's like if you were watching a show and then halfway through, or like, halfway through the show, like, in season 3 or something like that, they totally recast everybody. That's how it felt like when they reintroduced the quote unquote new Goths. Now, I didn't hate it. I didn't love it either. And so, yeah, I could go into a whole thing about that. But I don't mind the new Bella. I think she's lovely. I think she's pretty. But the dress had to stay. I don't know why they changed her from the dress that she was wearing before. Like, this dress is so iconic. I don't understand why they changed it. So I put her back in the dress. And for the kids... New Mortimer, I left alone. He's fine. For the kids looked odd to me. They really did. I'm sorry. So I basically replaced the kids with old Cassandra and an edited version of Alexander, and gave them Bella's skin tone. So yeah, that's all I did there. But yeah, and like, I just changed their clothes and their hair and whatnot. But that's all I did with them. But yeah, like I said, I don't mind them. But I didn't want to get too much into the Goths. I just wanted to let you know that I did a few edits with them. So now I am going to introduce myself to Bella. Here's Caliente. Sorry, that's Wow, I forgot her name. Katrina Caliente, thank you. Okay, so are we friends? Can I go in your house now? Okay, enough of the small talk. I know, this is kind of a weird way to do a tour, but... All right. So I could go on and on forever about this house. This home I built as a gift for Symbolarine. I think it was for 2018. Symbolarine is an event that's, as of making this video, is coming up very quickly. Basically, it's an event on Tumblr for the simming community. Basically, they have a trick-or-treat thing. So you could create like all these, whatever you like, build Sims, custom content, and visitors will come to your blog. They will send you an ask or leave a comment. I don't have the rules in front of me right now. And they'll basically ask for a treat. And then you could send them whatever you've created for them. So this is one of the treats that I provided for that Symbolarine, and I thought it was fun to do. But I've always wanted to rebuild the Ophelia house, and I turned into the Ophelia Manor, and I just went kind of nuts with the decor. So I wanted it to be rich and interesting. Like, the Goths have such an interesting history and a very interesting family. They are definitely old money, and they're eccentric. So they're completely eccentric. So I just wanted their house to reflect that. So they have this nice big kitchen where they gather. They have this a gorgeous dining room where they entertain. I use a lot of the vintage glamour pack in here. I could not do this entire safe without vintage glamour. There's just way too much stuff in that stuff pack that I love. So here's the second floor. And this is Mortimer and Bella's room. So they have this huge, huge bedroom. It's a very, very luxury. And then Cassandra lives over here. It's a typical teenage bedroom with a touch of luxury again. And here's an office. This is for Mortimer. I think in my game he's a writer. Here's a little laundry closet. If you do have the vintage glamour pack, which you should if you have this save pile, then definitely you could hire a butler. The butler is up here. His room is up here. It's a little bit of a small bedroom up here. Alexander's room is up here. I think it's because the original house, he had his bedroom at the very top, and I think he did in Sims 2 as well. So I put him in the attic, and I imagine that's where Alexander wants to be. So he's got all his toys up here. He's got a little kids chemistry set up here, and a little art set. So he's got everything that he needs up there. He's got a big place for himself. So yeah, that is the Goth house. And to add to their eccentric nature, a little touch of mystery, I've added a basement below, a cellar. There's a little garden where Mortimer's growing some herbs, or maybe experimenting with some herbs. He's got his little computer here, a little bit of a lab here, and there's a microscope here, like a big electron microscope there. So it's just a touch of mad scientist too. So if you wanted to turn Mortimer or somebody else into a mad scientist, or you could turn this room into whatever you like. You could turn it into a dungeon. I don't care, but go crazy with it. This room is there just for fun. And then in the very, very tiny backyard, I'm very, very proud of this. We have this cow plant. I think in my game I called it Clara, but this cow plant is here. I completely forget how I managed to get this cow plant in there. I'm sure it involved a whole bunch of cheats, but I don't believe that the Goths grew this cow plant themselves. In fact, I played this game since it came out. What was it, 2014? I've never, ever, ever, ever managed to get a sim high enough in the, is it the gardening skill, to get me a cow plant. So yeah, that's how pathetic I am. Anyway, but yeah, so that's the Goth house. I'm very, very proud of it. This is already available in the gallery. It's called the Ophelia Manor. Check it out on my website. This one is also available on my website and gallery as well. This one's called Appleton Fall House. And I built this soon after Cats and Dogs. So it has a little home vet office. So I imagine this be like, this big mansion that has a business attached to it. Like, how some big mansions, part of it is a house, part of it is like, some kind of office, like a law office or a real estate office or something like that. So this one is a big house and part of it is a vet. So that's what this was for. And then, of course, there's this one here, which I am also going to make available pretty soon. This one's called the Sagewood House. Yeah, the Sagewood House. Again, this was a build that's been in my game for a while that I never really shared, because I usually share builds when I kind of have a story attached to them. Otherwise, they just feel kind of empty to me and I don't feel like sharing them. But I went in there, I just fixed a few things, and it's going to be up on the gallery really, really soon. And I really love it. So let me show it to you, actually. So let's go. I won't bring Georgia there. Let's just do this directly through build mode. Okay. So here we go. It's also sunnier in build mode too. So very, very cute. Anyway. It's a standard home, nothing too special, nothing too crazy. It's got a little parlor here where your Sims could watch TV. It's got a nice dining room here. I managed to fit a piano in there, a grand piano. It's got a little kitchen, a little eaten kitchen with a fireplace. And I wanted this home to have like architectural, like old historical architectural elements. So I just wanted it to look old. And then, of course, you have the master bedroom up here. You have a kid's room here. You have another room up here, which could be a guest room or another kid's room. Bathroom, of course. And then you have up here, you have a hidden attic, which again is unfinished. I never know what to do with attics, to be honest. You got a nice balcony up here. You have a conservatory up here. And if you want to exit, you exit through here, and then you got the backyard. So yeah, again, one of my favorite builds. And then I just love this view very much, with the Appleton Fall house here and then the Sagewood house here. Let me show you the Appleton Fall house quickly. So here we go. This is the Appleton Fall house. And this is already available, so I don't think I need to do the full tour for you here. You could already download this from the gallery as of this moment. But it's a nice family home. Like I said, there's a vet office here. So here's a little waiting room. And then there's a exam room here. And then if you go this way, there's a little foyer area. There's a bar here. A little bit of a hallway with a powder room over here and the family room here. And then up here is a dining room, a nice dining room. It's decorated for the fall. I think this house was, yeah, it was very inspired by seasons as well. Obviously, it's called the Fall House. And then here is a kitchen, nice little kitchen. And then here's another conservatory here, which is, I guess, where you could go in and put together flower arrangements. You go upstairs, and there's a bunch of bedrooms here. So a bunch of kids' rooms, and then the master is over here. So you climb up over here, and then you go this way, and then you have the master ensuite over here, and then you have a sitting room here, and then you have the master bedroom over here with a big pet bed. So yeah, that's this home. This one does not have an attic, I believe. Oh yeah, it does. So here's the attic, again unfinished, and then no basement, but it's got a nice big backyard with a gazebo. And here's the Appleton Fall house. So lovely. So as you could see, I wanted to stay in a theme here. I think the Tiffany, the spa over there, looks a little bit odd, but it's okay. So that's this one, Pendula View. Let's head over to here, Oak Valley Manor. Okay. So yeah, I think like a build view might be the best way to show off these homes here. Right up here, this build I've already shown off a lot about. This used to be one of my legacy homes, but I built it for this family over here, the ones with the hyphenated names that I keep forgetting what they are. Shows how much I play the game. So I built this like modern-ish home here. I might replace it with something later on, but for now this was good enough. And yeah, it's kind of an odd home. I don't know if I like it, but it's not too bad. I kind of want to, like I said, I want to replace it with something else. And then here is the Oak Valley Manor. So this is like maybe one of the first mansions I've ever built for this spot here. And this is it's just a mansion. It's just your typical humongous mansion. It's very in theme of Willow Creek. So yeah. What can I tell you about this mansion? It's a mansion. It's got a lot of parlor rooms, as you can see here. Here's an office. Here's a guest room off to the side here. Here's a kitchen. Here is the dining hall, I guess. And then upstairs would be the bedrooms. They're not really furnished, so there's not much that I could show you here. You guys will probably do a better job furnishing than I would. But what I was really, really proud of, really, for this plot is like the exterior. I think the exterior turned out really, really well, in my opinion. And it's not only that, just like if you go around the back, which is how I think you'll see most of these Georgian type southern homes. You have this. I really wanted to have this kind of vista in my game here. So you have this gorgeous little fountain, with the cypress trees, a greenhouse here. And if you scroll a little bit back, then you'll see like the bay. And I just think it's really cute. I just think it's really a lovely area here. So I think this one is 400 simoleons. So your sim will have to, almost 400 simoleons. So your sim will have to be pretty rich to be able to live here. But yeah, that's this area here. I'm going to finish off here at Princess Cordelia Museum because I think I've shown off in other videos the Steam House, Cardoc's Cafe, and the Sushi House here. So let's bring Georgia over to the Cordelia, the Princess Cordelia Mansion, because I'm pretty proud of this one. So this was built in the Queen Anne style. It's another architectural style of Victorian home. Or, like, you know, I made an attempt. Anyway, I figured that this was like a really, really cute, old, huge mansion that became a museum, and not just any museum. It became a museum dedicated to Princess Cordelia. So if you've played the game long enough, you'll know that a lot of these items, let's go into build mode actually, so I could show you. That a lot of these items, these Princess Cordelia items, this one's called the Armed Living Chair. Princess Cordelia's second pirate boyfriend, Captain Chasmek Freeling, had perpetually tired arms. Due to his vanity, he was always taking out his gold mirror, holding up to his face and blowing kisses. He commissioned Princess Cordelia to make him this armed living chair so he could rest during his social visits. When she dumped him, she kept the chair. So Princess Cordelia is a princess from land across the seas whose kingdom was terrorized by giant sloths. So she got on a submarine and came to the New World. Along the way, she had a whole bunch of adventures. She had about 4 or 5 boyfriends, all of them like, you know, seafaring pirates or something like that. And so I thought like all these furnishings were really, really adorable. So I put them all together and turned them into a little museum, all dedicated to her. So a lot of these items will be Princess Cordelia items. Like this one here, Polly wants a plate tree. It's a 2100 simoleon worth like wall hanging here. Princess Cordelia's pirate boyfriends were all quite fond of their parrots. Every time she acquired a new boyfriend, he commissioned a plate in his parrot's honor. After her final romance withered, the princess was stuck with a pile of plates, so she put them in a golden tree and hung it on the galley wall. So if you go through all the items, they will have her entire story, and I think that is absolutely fantastic. I love that kind of flavor that The Sims put into the game. So over time, I added more than just like, you know, the Princess Cordelia items here. So there's stuff from a lot of the newer game packs, like Get Together. You could see the Mimsies over here, or what are these called? The Shallots, sorry. Mimsy and Bernard Shalot. So you can see the Shallots here, which I imagine are relatives of Princess Cordelia. Like maybe Princess Cordelia came from Windenburg. I don't know. There's more statues and artwork up here. And then on the top floor, let's go back into live mode, sorry. On the second floor here, there is her bedroom. It's all corded off because it is a museum. Some more, I guess what you could call them, artifacts. Furnishings. She loved jazz music, so jazz music is playing all over the place. Here's a little pirate themed corner. And then on the last floor here in the attic, then there is a little bit of a studio. So in a museum build, you need to have some kind of art easel here. And so that's where this is. And a lot of it is Princess Cordelia, nautical themed. There's a little tiny boardwalk in the back here. So if you want to sit and have some tea, good place for it. But yeah, I thought this corner worked really well for this museum. There used to be in the original, when you download like Sims 4 and you first boot it up, there used to be a museum on this end here, on this big lot here. But I thought I wanted to put this particular build here. I turned this into a gym. But yeah, I wanted to put a gym up there instead. And I wanted this museum to be closer to the park here, because the park already has a pirate ship play set. And I thought that would just work really well together. So yeah, that is this lovely build. I don't have a lot of museums in this game, but I really like this one. So, and everything else, I've already done a tour for in another video, so I don't think it's really necessary for me to show you. But I really like this little strip here, this community strip, a commercial strip. I did do some changes for the save file. So for the sushi restaurant and for the cafe, I added little patios that would back up into the boardwalk, because I thought that would make sense. It's hell yeah, she likes jazz music, so let's do that. And then she has there's a skating ring from Seasons over here, so that's fun. But this is, I mean, I know this has been in the game for years, but I still love this little area here. I think it's a really cute and romantic place to bring your Sims on a date. So it's one of my favorite spots. And I imagine that there's music everywhere in this area. So yeah, I think this is fun. Anyway, what else could I show you? There's like this is Willow Creek, and I've just spent the entire video talking about it. I will do other videos for the other worlds. Some of them will be condensed. I don't know. We'll see. But thank you so much for checking this out. And if you want to play with this Willow Creek, it's all available in my save file. Head over to sims.blackdaisies.com. Go find that link for my save file. It will be in the description as well. All of these builds will be added to the gallery very, very soon after this video is released. So go ahead, and if you don't have, if you're not playing Sims on the PC, if you're playing it on console, you should be able to go into get my gallery and download all of these lots. Are all available in there, and place them in your game however you like. So I'm sorry that you can't download my save file and just plop it into your world if you're playing on console, but these builds will be available for you if you want to play them eventually. It's evening. I'm going to put Georgia to bed soon. And thank you again. Have a great one, and cheers. Bye.